Hey yo, we are live. Yup. Yep, 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 yep. Yep, 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 yep. Hey yo, we are live. Oh, Facebook. Why do you always have to turn the volume on when I bring you up? Yo, Jarl. How you guys doing, man? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? I gotta do one more thing real quick. Let's grab this. We'll do open recent. Got some reference up. Christelle, how are you? Good morrow. Ivan, what's up, man? Yes, this is going to be for print. Hello, hello, Harris, Alan. You know what I'm gonna do real quick? I'm just gonna do something super quick on the fly. Let's do this. Oh no, you stuck at 360. Oh, that's weird. Some Shah, what's up? David, hello. Goswan, Scott, how are you guys? I think. Yes. So we're going to do this. Yes, yeah, it's God of War troll fan art for statue collectible fan art. Hannibal, what's up, buddy? Official, how are you? Nice. Let's see. God of War troll fan art sculpt for collectible. COLLECTABLE, I think, right? I hate misspelling things. Collectible. There's an I in that. Collectible. For collectible statue print. Okay. Mr. B on the set. James, what's up, man? Yeah, and for 3 hours you guys have me today. 3 hours of amazing craziness. Let's just do this today. I know that people are gonna be like, "Oh, is this for game?" Um, you would be correct to think so in the beginning. However, this particular project, I say nay. I say nay. This is actually for statue. Side, what's up, buddy? Vinny, how are you? We got all kinds of people today. Yeah, we should do later Saturdays more often. Sajid, this is all retop, Z-remeshed, and then sculpted on. The rest of this stuff is Dynameshed. Yes, oh. Yes, this is God of War troll fan art sculpt for collectible pipeline. You know, maybe I should do pipeline instead. Hold on, give me 1 second. For control collectible statue pipeline. There we go. Practice. Got it. Okay, cool. Maybe that will help clear some things up. There we go. Okay. All right. So this is where we be. So we've done all of this on the Pixo stream. So if you are interested in going back to the very, very beginning, it's all on there. If you go to ZBrushLIVE.com, you go to my page, Brendon Isaiah Bengtson, you can go back and find every single one of the streams that I did to get here. Excuse me, it's my first cup of coffee, so I have to slurp in your guys' ears a little bit. I apologize. So yeah, usually I do things for game production, but this particular one is going to be for, I want to start practicing statue production pipeline work. So that's what this exercise is. I was like, you know what? That troll in God of War was so good. I'll do my own little take on him. So this is my reference that I'm working from. So there are going to be a lot of similarities, mostly similarities. But then, of course, you know, I'll make some small deviations here and there. May change his body style up just a little bit. Some of his head spike stuff are going to change. We'll change some stuff on the giant cran that he has right now, which I got to work on. I really need to work on that. And then his horns and some other stuff too. So there'll be some things that change, but you get the idea. Yeah, you can ask how many hours this has taken so far. This has taken, I don't know if I can get you exact. Side, I don't know if I can give you that advice at the moment. We got to get rolling with this dude. But what I may do then, actually, that you're saying that you need some advice on skin pores for an orc face. Maybe we'll do some pore work on this guy today. We got lots of time, so. All right, what are we gonna do today? So last time on Brendon Isaiah Bengtson, did Pixelogic stream. We finished fleshing out the leg and the arm and this back arm and the back. And we did a lot last stream, 2 hours. And then we quickly blocked out the base. So I think today we need to work on this giant cran that he has, make it not look like a cran. So fair warning, I don't really do things that aren't characters a whole lot. So we're just gonna wing it, man. We're just gonna wing it. So David, to answer your question of how many hours has this taken, I think, I don't know, what do you guys think? It's been like 10 streams, maybe? Let's say it's been 10 streams, and each one of those streams has been 2 hours. So 20 hours. About 20 hours in. But one of the most important things that I wanted to do with this particular project was make sure that I could nail the overall look and feel from far away, right? So if this is going to be a statue, right, it's gotta hold up here. It's gotta hold up here. It's gotta hold up here, and it's gotta hold up here. Once you start for statue, you know, you're not really going to get like all this nice little pore detail and stuff. You know, we'll do it because it's going to look awesome in portfolio reels. But for the actual print, it depending on the size, of course, you know, you may not get all those awesome little details that we're going to end up doing in here. So I want to make sure that the overall look and feel of him from all angles and from all distances looks interesting and good and awesome. I'm kind of going for awesome. We'll see if that lands. But this feels pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the back. I'm pretty happy with the silhouette here. I may change up his arm position a little bit. Yeah, so that's where we're at. Okie dokie, okie dokie. What are we going to work on first? Alright, we're going to work on this guy first. So I'm going to actually pull from the reference quite heavily because I don't do props, or I don't do like environment stuff very much, so me and sculpting rock stuff doesn't happen very much. So I'm going to pull from this quite heavily for reference. And let's roll. Okay, got my thing. Alright. Quarter scale. I don't know, what's the desired height? I don't know, maybe a foot? 16 inches? Between 12 and 16 inches, I think. Yeah, we're about 20 hours so far. A study of rocks takes 10 times longer. I know, I'm really hoping that I could just fake it real quick, and it'll be just, you know, oh, that looks like a rock. Okay, cool. That's what I'm really hoping. Alright, so first off, let's split these ropes off. Let's do split hidden. Rock anatomy. That's exactly what we're doing. Alright, so I'm going to dupe this first. That way we have a copy of it when we mess it up. I think I'm going to pull back and take out all of this detail first. Because I don't really want to be adhered to this. This is just for initial look dev anyways. Not even look dev, for just initial sell. 18 to 24, you think, Hannibal? It's just perseverance and sticking to and stick-to-itiveness. Perseverance and stick-to-itiveness. That's how I can get done in 20 hours. Or just a crazy deadline. So let's Dynamesh this bad boy. Let's see what that looks like. I think that's okay. Alright, let's just start tearing this bad boy up. And I think instead of doing that, maybe what I'll do is I'm going to use Trim Dynamic quite a bit. Let's see if we can get just some planes happening in here. From what I see, rocks are a lot of planes, depending on the type of rock, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on so we're going to go, it's going to be larger at the base and then go down just a little bit, right, just past the ropes, and then it will break off. It'll do most of its breaking there. But then it has like this little ridge, which is kind of cool. So it was like it was placed and created in a little ditch, right? And then we got like this little lip that comes out here. Clay polish is another great one. Yep. James, it's good to have you here, bro. So what I'm going to do is for clay buildup, I'm going to use a focal shift that's way down so I can really kind of get this blocky feel. Blocky. I also want to make sure that I'm not running into his hand. Okay. Maybe I can actually bring that up here. Then we'll make it a little bit thicker. Right, so it's all about what the silhouette's going to feel like, right? I don't really want to do it all the way down here, and I don't want to do it all the way up there. I want to make sure that those shapes read. Right now, like I really like Sculptress. But if I'm doing big, heavy, quick stuff, I feel that sculpt just kind of slows me down a little bit. I really am starting to find that I only use Sculptress the best and most when I need to add detail into somewhere and I don't want to mess everything else up. For me, that's been the most useful time. So let's say like I don't want to re-dynamash everything, but then I need to come in and like add just a little bit more detail in here. That's when I'll start using, because it tends to kind of slow down my computer quite a bit. Especially when you're working on a heavy model. Don't listen, troll. We think you're big boned, not heavy. Hey Leon, what's up? How you doing? How are you? Let's try H polish a little bit and see if we can get just some happy accidents start coming through in here. You like this? Oh, I don't really do rocks. Well, let's do it live on the Pixel channel, though. That sounds fantastic. That's a great idea. And let's do it first. What do I get myself into sometimes? Sometimes, though, you know, it's that pressure that you can purposefully put on yourself that you're like, now it looks like an eraser. Looks like a pen with an eraser. I love God of War. Underline. Hello from Cuba. How you doing, man? Maybe we'll just add a little bit of breakup, and then we can pull back on some of that. Maybe just. So what I've seen, and what I'm going to try to attempt, is using different brushes and then combining them to get interesting effects. I think that's one of the ways I'm going to try to attempt this here. Yeah, yeah. What James said. It is a great feature, but I still feel that using Dynamesh overall, when you're doing large pieces, is still one of the better ways to go. It's not taxing on your computer. All right, let's see. Or we'll add just maybe just kind of a little breakup through here. So you see maybe some major pieces. Maybe we can bring this guy out just a little bit. There we go. It's starting to feel like it, kind of. All right. Shh, 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 shh. It's all right. It's just people outside. Shh, 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 shh. All right. Them dogs. I know you're just trying to protect me and your family. I know. Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. It's Sculptress is amazing. Are you kidding me? Alright, and then maybe what we can do is go back in with H polish, just kind of pull some of that back a little bit. We'll get some nice variation in some of those pieces. Okay. It looks like it has been pounded into the ground a bunch of times. Wait, where are we? Okay. This is our main side. I'm going to be drinking lots of water this morning. Alright. Now this is probably not going to be so straight. This is probably just going to kind of come in here a little bit more. I like the art. I like it too. Me and the art get along. Hello, I am Mr. Art. How are you today? I'm good, thank you. I'm good, man. I'm good. I am good. I'm pumped. Today I get to spend a little bit more time with you guys. Add a little more variation here. Congratulations. On what? Being able to spend more time with you guys? Okay. Oh, the job. Oh, thanks, man. It's been quite a bit. Almost a year, man. Yeah, it'll be a little bit before we get there. Side. I'm gonna try to get this in a better place first. Okay, maybe we'll try to get a little bit more of this happening. Kind of break it up a little bit. Okay, let's see how we're doing here. Alright, now I really got to start putting in some of this stuff. Alright, so I think what I'm just going to do is start putting in the overall breakup. I have no idea if this is going to work or not, so bear with. Oh, of course. Save it. Don't forget to save your stuff. Save it. Save it! I don't know if I'm going to put in the glyphs yet. I probably should. I think I want to break up this single point here. Maybe what I want to do is Save you from the doom. Of what? Then maybe we'll have this one jet out a little bit too. Maybe we'll have like the dual. This, and then this one comes out as a secondary piece here. Oh, save. Oh, save. I see what you did there. I see what you did. Okay. Mostly what I want to do first is have this break up a little bit in the silhouette, just to make sure that it's not like a giant writing utensil, you know? No, this is going to be stone. Trying to get in all my water today, so starting early. Okay, I can pull this out just a little bit. Maybe we can pull another one out down here. So we can kind of get a little bit more of that breakup. I think maybe we'll need one here. So the thing, you know, it's similar what I'm doing now to you know, how you work any piece of artwork, right? What does the overall read look like? You know, some of the important things of why this thing looks like stone, right? You've got you know, the overall shape, and then you're like, oh, it's got like a base down here. Okay, cool. And then you know, making sure that this reads as something that's been splintered off. Yeah, and then it splinters like rock. Like rock. Then we can start planing off some of these. Maybe we can throw this up here. So you can get a little bit more of this gesture of the flat planes coming through. Oh, of course I played the game. Great game. If this was actually for an actual piece that I was freelanced for, I would definitely do a lot more of my own personal studies. I wouldn't just wing it like this. I would actually probably go and do some separate rock sculpts to so that I can make sure that I nail whatever this is going to be. So I would take some time and actually practice. The first time is never your best time. Well, maybe not never, but very rarely. Very rarely. No, I will not be able to sell this. This is all just personal work. I don't own the IP, so I can't. I could never sell this. So that's why it's a little bit more just for personal practice and portfolio. Of course, I can put it in my portfolio. That's no problem. And I may print it just to be able to go along with the portfolio to show that I can do the sculpt and have it come out relatively good. So Planado, coming out. How long does it take you to finish it normally? I've never actually done production like this, so I'm not actually not sure. Actually, you know what? What I'm gonna do is instead of that, let me see if I have orb crack or not. Orb crack and mock cut might be good. There we go. There we go. That's what I want. Let's see. What are we gonna use? Let's use orb cracks. Let's see what that's. See how that gives like this planar feel instead of there we go. It gives a nice planar feel on this plane. Yeah, Joanne. Hey, how are you? How do you create handle wraps like katana? You know what? I've never done that either. I would have to just get creative and try it. I wonder if I can use orb crack with this. Oh yeah. I don't think I'm ready for that yet, though. I'm not ready for that awesomeness. All right. I think honestly that feels already much better than what it was. That's what it was. That's what it is. What it was. Yeah, orb crack and all the orb brushes are awesome. Michael Vicente, I think that's who that is, right? At Blizzard. Okay. Let's get back to this dude. I think maybe we're gonna put in some more ropes too. I don't feel like he doesn't have enough ropes. And the ropes look like they're coming out of his fingers. Rope man. Yeah, sometimes if you want super tight controlled weave stuff, like what James was saying, you could also do it in like Maya or a core program and get the geo running correctly first. And then just go from there. There's lots of ways to do it. There you go, side. Yep. If you guys want to check out Orb, it is Michael Vicente, right? Somebody correct me on that if I'm wrong. Yep. Okay, cool. Michael Vicente. Cool. Good. I always got to give props where there's props due. Okay, let's add a couple more. You can add a little bit. You just dupe some of these and move them around a little bit. You guys want to see how I did the ropes initially? If anybody's there. Anybody there? Is anybody there? Whoa. Let's turn that off. I'm just gonna pull back on some of this. Not really digging all of that anymore. So I'm just gonna pull back. Just hold shift. Yep, that's it. It's a curved brush and hold shift. that's about it. Rock control. Yep. It's actually really really easy. I'm just gonna pull some of this stuff out while I'm at it. Okay. Alright, so I'll show you this real quick if you guys want to know. Okay. First it starts off with a rope brush. Excuse me. I grabbed my rope brush from badking.au.com. I think you can go and get it there too still. Where is it? It's in hard surface. This rope brush. One that looks like this. Excuse me. So basically what you can do is we can, when we start drawing out this curve, if we hold shift, it will make a straight line, but then as soon as we bring this off of the silhouette, it will attempt to make a complete circle around whatever that mesh is. There you go. It's easy as that, man. Easy as that. Easy peasy. So what I'm going to do here, so that's exactly how I made these. Then what I'm going to do is grab these. Let's do auto groups, and then we'll mask all of those. And then we'll use Control Alt, and then we'll just move that. And then we'll do this. We'll do this a couple of times. Maybe we'll do one here. Control Alt again. And we'll do this. We'll bring it this way. I want to make sure that, you know, it's interesting from a lot of areas. So maybe what we can do is, instead of rotating it that way, we can rotate it this way. Maybe we have one crossing over this way. And then maybe we have another one over here, but it's coming in this way. This way. Oh, now I have more rope. Nice. And then we can come in here with our move topological and just start pushing some of these around. Pull this out, bring this down, bring this guy out. And we'll bring this guy down here like this, like this. We'll bring this guy out this way a little bit more. And then we can also do is, if we want to do, if we don't want to like move it like this and do some weird squishing, we can do re-auto groups and then just do that again. Alt, Control, click, and because they're all different polygroups, it will mask all the other ones. Maybe we'll... Alright, James. Take it easy, buddy. Good to have you, bud. Maybe we'll just pull that one out like that. Have a fantastic day, sir. There we go. Okay, let's make sure all these are actually laying on the surface now that I've actually changed the surface. So ultimately, you know, all of this stuff will end up being on the same model. I mean, on the same piece, right? So for printing, all of this has to be watertight, right? So basically, there's not going to be a little hole under here, right? So when I'm prepping for this, I want to make sure that at least most of this stuff is intersecting, so that it just makes the printing process a little easier. Doesn't have to worry about trying to create that little hole underneath it. Now here may be a little bit different story, but all of this stuff, I'm just making sure that it's actually going to be touching the surface. What I understand, and I am no professional when it comes to sculpting for print, but I do know the print technology, and I have printed stuff before, so. Okay, let's just make sure all that stuff is at least touching the surface. And later, I mean, we could probably do this towards the end anyways, but just making sure that all of this stuff from a production point makes sense. Well, I'm sure we'll do some passes towards the end to make sure that things are good, right? Like all of this stuff would need to come in. All of this stuff needs to come in. But we don't need to do all that right now. Right now we're just focusing on the overall look and feel of everything. We don't need to make sure that all this stuff is perfect at the moment. Maybe we'll add a couple more ropes up here to help balance this out a little bit. So then let's go back. Let's make sure that okay, move tool, Control click. That hides everything else. You know what? Maybe I'll just do this one instead. So we'll do move to unmask center. And then we'll grab this guy and we'll just dupe him off. Maybe we'll do a couple of close pieces. Hold on one sec, guys. Alright, hold on one sec, guys. I'm going to say hi to my daughter real quick. Alright, sorry about that, guys. My wife and daughter are going to SeaWorld today while I stay home and do work. So I wanted to say hi to them real quick. So Edison, hey, how are you? Hello? Alright, let's make sure that this is looking okay. Yeah, that's... I feel like that's... There's some nice breakup in the shapes there. I think there's a good amount here versus here. I think maybe we can use a little bit more breakup in here, just to add some variety. Always talking about breaking up. You breaking up with me? Alright. Okay. That feels much better than it did before. Much, much better. Look at that, we're already an hour in. Holy Jesus. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think that's gonna be good. Maybe we'll try flatten. Let's go like this one. Which one do I like better? All right. Well, you know what? Maybe while we're here, it's actually going fairly well for this. Maybe what we'll do is continue. Maybe what we'll do is continue. Let's see what kind of hard surface rock stuff we have. I know I had some. Wear and tear. Excuse me. This is all XMD stuff. If you guys don't know XMD, Michael Dunham does a lot of really nice stuff. Neck, clothing. Maybe did I put it in hard surface? Nope. Maybe we'll just go back to orb. See if we can get some of this. Like this stuff and this stuff might be really nice. At least to just get in there. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. Let's go to layers. Layers. Okay, let's pull a new layer. We'll say rock detail. I use this method quite a lot using layers. I'll show you what I do. So I'll pull, just do a bunch of the stuffs. I just kind of go heavy-handed through here. Just try to vary this up just a little bit. So I'm trying to make it so that it's not pulling too much out. But I'm also trying to vary it up just a little bit here. So I use this method quite a bit, which is the warp out method. So what I do is I put in all the detail, right? And then I turn that detail off, store morph target, create a new layer, and we call this morph out. Okay, and then we recorded all this, and then we go BMO for brush morph. I'm going to save it first. Always save it before you do the morph brush. I've found. Let's save it real quick. Okay, so now with the morph brush, I can just pull some of that back. You know, maybe I want a square alpha on that, right? And I can pull some of that back. So if I pulled it all the way back, it goes back to that original state, right? But what I'm doing is I'm using some of that original state to pull back to, right? I'm selecting little areas based on what I want to pull back to that original state. That makes sense? actually go back to this. Alright. Are you guys catching that? So now it's kind of getting a little bit of both, where it's taking that original layer, but then in specific parts, I'm actually pulling it back to the original layer without that, or wherever I stored the morph target. What? And I can just be selective about these areas, right? So some of them, they could be more heavy-handed, some of them less heavy-handed. Alright. So there's like this weird kind of like this ditch right through here. There's a ditch right through here. Really want to make sure that I kind of break that up while still saving some of that nice rock information. So I use the morph out quite a bit. Comes in really handy, and you can use this method all over the place. You use it on facial pores. You can use it on pretty much anything. I used this a lot when I was doing the leather, that really detailed leather, on the Horizon Zero Dawn guy that I'm working on. I would just go in super heavy-handed and just be like, oh, there's leather everywhere, oh. And then I would use a morph out layer, where I would store the morph target and then just pull back on that in the areas that I didn't want it, or I felt like it was a little much. There. And then I may just, I may do this a couple of times. Or if I don't like it, what's cool is that I think if I pull this back, if I pull my rock detail back, you can start getting this really cool, like, it's alive! Ah! Alright, or I pull my morph out back out. And then what I can do is come in with another layer and say, maybe from here, I really want to pull back on some of these areas. Right? So you get this really nice effect without it being too destructive. Alright, maybe I just want some of that detail just super subtle. Some it's a little much in some areas, so I can come back and really pull that back, do other stuff. But what it does is it starts adding layers of detail. I want to pull this back out a little bit. Alright, and then you start adding layers of detail on layers of detail on layers of detail, then you start coming up with something cool. Alright, and then maybe what I can do is I can even bring that back a little bit. What is it? We'll pull some of that back in. Maybe we'll do divots. Alright. Maybe what we'll do is, well, let's see what other fun stuff we have. Yeah, we got this guy. This guy would be nice. Maybe we'll do this. Alright, we got... And you don't necessarily have to do that morph out on a separate layer. You can actually just do it on the same layer and then just use your morph target. Right, so then what I can do is let's turn this off and then let's delete the previous morph target, store a new one, turn this back on. Right, so now I can go back and forth between my morph target and this guy and pull some of those areas. So let's go super heavy-handed, right? Maybe we'll vary this up a little bit. Maybe we'll actually pull some of this out. Vary up the size. Do some more in there. Get some more through here. I'll just do a quick pass through here. Right, and then I can go back to my brush, my morph brush, and then I can pull some of that back out in some of these areas. Make that area where it's pulled out interesting. Alright. It just adds more complexity. Which is really cool. By the way, I still have no idea what I'm doing. Basically what I'm looking for is just happy accidents, you know? And I'm using the same art strategies as when I'm doing anatomy, you know? Are my details broken up, you know? Are they large, medium, and small shapes? Are they using repeating patterns? Is there enough variation? Still is, you know, is it looking messy now? You know, is there enough detail, but does it still hold up by itself, you know? It's starting to look kind of cool. I'll pull some of this back in here. Alright, how's that looking? Yeah. Cool. Water break. Don't forget to drink your water. What's up, Diego from Peru? How you doing? I can actually pull some of this in a little bit now. I want to make sure that I'm still maintaining that overall shape that I want. Pull some of this in. Herbal tea's good. Coffee's better, in my opinion. It just accentuate this lip a little bit more. So I'm using AccuCurve because I want it to have basically a point to it. So if I use just regular move, it's gonna move kind of like this. It'll try to grab whatever's within the center circle and then fall off all the way out to the outer red circle. But what AccuCurve does is it gives it a little bit more of a like point. See that? So let's turn AccuCurve off. It does something more like this. But with AccuCurve, it does it to a point like that. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. Is I really just wanted to just kind of nice and tightly push that in. So AccuCurve works great for that. Okay. I want to make sure that my silhouette is still good. I don't want that sticking. I don't really want it sticking out like this. Kind of want to make sure that all of this pulls in. Maybe we can have. Now I'm doing this on that divots, because I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna commit to all this. So I don't really care which layer I'm doing it on at the moment. Feeling pretty good about it. Maybe you could take a damn standard and just lightly push some of this in with a large brush. The Tannis, what's up, man? Thanks, buddy. Alright. Maybe what we can start doing also is adding some smaller. Maybe we could do spray and alpha. See what that does. We need to add just. I'm gonna do one more layer. And I feel like I'm getting too much into detail now. Like this is too much. I'm just kind of going crazy. And then what we'll do is we'll store another morph target, turn that back on, record BMO, morph, and then we'll just pull some of that back. Sure. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dupe this guy. This one with all of the history. I'm going to throw down to the bottom. Let's turn that off. Go back to this dude. And then I'm just going to bake all. Oh, yeah, look. Nice. Okay. Something about that thing just doesn't look right. Oh, it's not finished yet. Okay. I say, in the last couple of hours here, I think we should start getting into some more tighter details in the anatomy, in the skin. Maybe we can start doing some tight skin details, or we can continue to work on his face and neck. What do you guys? Maybe we'll put it up for a vote. You guys want face details, or do you want the more body detail? We can start getting into like skin folds and how I'm going to break up the body. Or we can continue into... Let's pull these out a little bit now. Skin. And you buy coffee for everybody. Face or body? That's the question at the moment. Body details. We got a couple bodies. We got a couple face. We got a... Well, I know it's about 50-50 right now. Anybody else want to chime in? We adjust these bad mamma jammas. Oh, we got some. Oh, we got a lot for body. You're like, I've seen face tutorials. I want your body. Buddy. So now that we have created some variation in the surface, and we can add a little bit more of this variation to the rope, which is nice. It's not just a flat plane. It's going to add a little bit more interest to the rope. Alright, I'm getting a lot of body. No face. Okay, body. Did you hear that, troll? He said you just had an okay body. Body shaming the troll. I'm joking. We still got some time. Oh, my AccuCurve is still on. Dagnabbit. I was wondering why I was acting funny. See, that's why I keep a lot of my heart. So I keep a lot of my tools out here on the surface because I always forget if I turn something on or if it's still on or what. So I try to keep a lot of this stuff in my visual, like, you know, perspective, back face mask, all that stuff that is like brush dependent, or even global dependent. You know what? I'm actually gonna pull these back up. I don't want to move his fingers, so instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this surface back up so that it connects with his fingers. That's going to be way easier to do that than it will be to move all the ropes and all the fingers and all that crazy jazz. Crazy jazz. Same thing with his hand here. Really need to pull this stuff back out. Okay. That's a little bit better there, and that's better there. I'm going to pull this stuff up while I'm at it, just so that all of this isn't too crazy sunken in. Looks a little weird. Alright, so we're thinking body? I think we're thinking body. Sorry, side. You got outvoted, man. Well, don't worry, though. We'll still get there. We'll still get to do face stuff. Who knows? Maybe we'll do body for a little bit, and then to end it out, we'll do face. All right. So where do we take? So I feel with the topology that's here. It's okay. It took it like a man. All right. We'll work on the body for a little bit, and then democracy. Yeah. Um, maybe towards the end, we'll end on the face. How about that? So let's do that. All right. So the resolution on the body is. Let's actually do this. Let's duplicate. Let's throw this guy all the way down to the bottom. Back to this guy. And then we're going to... I'm actually just curious. Oh, that's where we started. Remember that? That's where we started. Then we did that, and then we did that. Yeah, we're going to just bake all that. Okay. So now I duplicated that one off so that if I ever really want to go back, I can. I'm just paranoid like that sometimes. Water break. It's good. Alright, so the resolution that the body's at now is pretty much maxed out for the detail that it's holding, right? So from here, I want to start thinking about how I'm going to break him up so that I can add more details into those particular areas. When I'm doing this for high-res sculpt for game, it's pretty much the same thing, right? How do I split this up so that I can add more polys into the areas that I want without like having, you know, super crazy high polys? So I think for this guy, what I'm going to do is, okay, so in game, I usually break it up by how I'm going to bake the normal maps, but since I'm not doing that, I'm going to break it up into what I feel the best production method would be. Or at least where I could put seams for different subtools where they would be most likely hidden. So it'll be easy for the legs. I can just split those from the torso because that line could be hidden under the belt, and then the split in between the two legs could be in the crotch. That's easy, right? If I want to go even crazier, I could split the thigh from the leg through one of these bandages. The more interesting and difficult thing I think will be the torso. Now, the plan was I was going to hide the head neck split through some of these horn pieces back here. So that's that. But the body and arms are going to be interesting. So from a production point, I'm thinking that maybe it would be easier question is, do I want to have this big piece printed with the arm? As part of it, or do I want to print it separately, right, and put a seam through here somewhere? The trick is to hide your seams as cleverly as possible while maintaining integrity. So if we look at the, he's got some wraps on his arms under here. So you could hide a seam under there. I don't want to break this up too much because this feels really nice through here and consistent. You know, maybe what I could do what I might be able to do, hear me out, brush, maybe we'll do a curved strap snap, and then we'll just do, you have subdivision levels, of course you do. Let's let's duplicate this guy again, turn that off, let's go down to this one, we'll delete lower, delete higher, and then maybe what we can do is actually, ooh, not that one. Nope. 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 There we go. Brush, curve, strap, snap. Let's get rid of the curve. Hold on a second. I'm going to close my window here. Okay. Is the stream still going okay? On Twitch, I'm showing a loading screen. Oh, yeah, it's going. Okay, cool. Alright, so what I'm thinking is maybe we could do something where... Why aren't you moving? There we go. We've got some chest strap that comes this way. Come on. Thank you. I've got a long convoluted history. I got back into the game industry in 2013. But I had gone to school and gotten my degree in 2007 for modeling, texturing, and animation. But I went into and I worked in the medical industry for 4 or 5 years in between 2007 and 2013. So what I'm thinking is maybe we can do, let's split unmask. Let's turn this guy off. Something like this, right? I know it's going to cover some stuff up, but I'm thinking maybe if we do something like this, we may be able to hide a line there, right? So then all of this becomes one piece, and then there's a key in here. Right, all of this is one piece, and it just sits into that. There's a key in there. And then all of this is one piece. The question is, would that be worth covering up some of that? Because he has some really nice stuff going on through there. Yeah, so that's one idea. Or we could do something. Let's duplicate that. Let's mirror. turn that one off. Oops. You know, maybe he's got like this arm strap that comes in here. You know, maybe he's got a bag over here or something, right? And maybe this is where he holds all of his dead skulls, all his trophies or something. Yeah, and then maybe he's got, let's go brush, insert, where's my insert primitives? We'll just do a quick one of those. Maybe he's got a bag back here. This is just kind of planning out your production cleverly into the design, if possible. You know, maybe he's got a bag. Maybe it's a double bag. I don't think I like the cross very much, mostly because it hides a lot of this nice detail. Alright, but it's all about being clever, you know? Sorry, the gardeners are here doing some work outside, so if you hear lots of noise, I apologize. They're making my yard beautiful. Thank you, Pete. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are the best. You know, maybe he's got something like this. Z Gardener. You know, then, you know, who knows? Maybe he's got a couple of these little bags in here. This might be another cool way to show scale as well. You know, maybe that's not a bag. Maybe these are skulls that he's carrying. You know? Question is, does that add more interest to the silhouette? Does it make sense for the character? Whatever you do, it really has to still make sense, right? So that's a possibility. It's still a little bit weird. So that's another possibility. I don't know if I really like that. This feels like he's like coming home from the grocery store or something. You know, he's like, I got my skulls to eat tonight for dinner. Oh crap, there's Kratos. Come on, man. Come on, man. Just try to have dinner, dude. Leave me alone. Give me one sec, guys. All right. Let's do that. All right. We good? We're good. We're good. All right. So yeah, I don't think I like the I'm coming home from the grocery store feel. So let's get rid of that. That feels much more betterer. I think maybe what we'll do is just. Oh, looks like a monkey, huh? Maybe we'll just do some bandages on his arm, and then we can create that separation there, and then we'll create a separation here. That should be enough. What's up, Dumpy Man? How you doing? Thanks, buddy. Thanks, buddy. Alright, so let's go brush. We're going to go curve, strap, snap. And then let's just see if we can get... Oh yeah, he's got multiple subdivisions. Okay, let's go back to this guy. Turn him off for a second. And let's make that a lot smaller. Alright, so we can start getting some of these in there, and then we can hide our seam underneath those. That feels better. Maybe we'll do just a couple of these. Maybe we'll just do two. Let's do that for now. Okay, we'll do split hidden. Turn that guy off, turn that guy back on. And let's adjust these guys a little bit. So I'm thinking that this may be a better fit for the overall character. Tilly, chill out, man. I have a question. How can you improve yourself at working with measurements without pictures, concept arts, and environment and characters and modeling? Are you just talking about like overall proportions and stuff? Like how do you get better with proportions and being able to see overall proportions? See if we can get this moving up. I think the easiest way to do that is to look at relationships. So, like, if you're studying this, you know, you look at relationships of things within the element, right? Like, if I want to look at how big his head is compared to the rest of his body, right? Just, you know, how big is it this way? You know, if I take this head and move it over one, if I duplicate it, you know, there's one head size here. Where does the shoulder fall within that head? Right? So I look at these types of distances, right? So how long is his arm? Well, if you bring his elbow in, where does it touch his side? Right? Usually for male, it touches on the bottom of the rib cage. Right? And then your wrist will touch just below the greater trochanter of the femur. And then if your hand is straight, it'll usually go about halfway to 3/4 of the way down your thigh. Or about halfway down your thigh, maybe 2/3. So those are regular proportions. So if this guy's got super long gangly arms, pull those pieces down further. Or if you want super short arms, pull those up further, you know. How big is his foot in comparison to his knee? You know, if you're looking at just the picture, You're saying like, all right, well, like how, where does, how do I get this feeling of this particular picture if I wanted to paint this picture? Where's this weight, that kind of thing. Just look at the relationships of the elements in the picture compared to other elements in the picture. Like in between his feet, where's the center point of his feet? If you take that straight up, his head is off to one side. So it makes it look like he's kind of like pulling over, like his center of gravity is shifted off to his back foot. So it makes it look like he's kind of leaning back a little bit, How low is his elbow compared to, his other elbow? Well, if you take the bottom of the elbow and you pull it over, that's at a little bit below his sternum. Those types of things. So just looking at the relationships of the things that are happening within the element that you're working on, that's usually how I go about measuring and getting the overall feel of things. Tilly? Tilly, yes. I know, there's people outside. Hey, there's people outside. I understand. Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you gonna survive? Do I need to put you in the other room? Okay. Okay. So, how do you export character subtool for rigging in Maya? Is it better to merge all in one? I don't know a whole lot about rigging, but for game production, you don't necessarily have to have it all in one subtool. You can make them separate subtools. It really depends on your rigger. I was talking about something. I forgot what I was talking about. I forgot what I was talking about. Maybe this is going to go into the armpit. So I'm just taking a couple extra seconds here to plan out some of this stuff. Let's do this. Let's grab one of these. Let's dupe this over. And then let's... Yeah, no problem, man. Let's actually thin this out. So I want to create a little bit of variation. Come on. Give it to me. Come on. Thank you. Sorry I got sidetracked. I know I was on the way to answer something. I forgot what it was. If you guys want to remind me, if you would like the rest of that answered, let me know. Sorry about that. Okay, so maybe I can hide the seam in there. So that's the whole reason why we're thinking about this, right? So maybe what we can do is we can create a platform for this piece to lay on when we, for print. Excuse me. When we print this out, we can just print this whole thing with this piece of the arm. And then the body can be one piece. The head can be another piece. We could probably do one leg and all of these pieces, and then another leg as a separate piece. I don't think that would be horrible. Alright, well, let's start cutting them up. So we have our original, right? We have our original down here with the layers. So I'm not worried about cutting this guy up and losing a bunch of work. Because he's already duped. So let's delete lower. Okay, so that's what we got. So let's just delete this guy. We don't need this guy anymore. We'll delete that guy. Alright, so we'll dupe this guy a couple of times. And then what we're going to do is just go... Whoop. Okay, so this is going to be the torso. And we can just get rid of those guys. Okay. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Instead of delete hidden, I'm going to split hidden. That way we've got the exact line. I don't have to redo that cut line. That's way smarter. Work smart. Not dumb. Okay, split hidden. Alright, and this one, we'll go ahead and split here. Split hidden. Okay. Now what we can do is, actually, you know what, before I do that, what I want to do is I want to close these holes first. So let's do close hole. That's going to do that. Let's delete this dude. So then now when I split this one, I can close this hole because this one's already closed. So then let's go like this. Split hidden. Close hole. Now I've got this nice piece. Instead of some weird piece that was going to try to fill all of this in on its own. So now I've got this piece with the same. We can do close holes there. There we go. So now we've got this leg, we've got this leg, we've got the torso, and for this one I can do close holes as well. Right? Close hole, nice. And for this one, we can go ahead and also do close hole. If you're looking for close hole, it's actually in geometry, modify topology, close hole, right there. If you are, per chance, using my layout, you can always just hold down Control, and then the button will tell you the button path on the bottom. So if you're looking for it, Tool, Morph Target, Store Morph Target. That's where that's at. Okay, now we've got pieces. Now what we're going to do, for each one of these pieces, since I'm not really doing any more large adjustments, I can go ahead and retopo it, or Z-remesh it, and then just subdivide it, and all of my all of my small details will live in my subdivisions. May want to keep this one not like that though, because I want to do is a little bit more on his fingers. So let's do that for the legs first. We'll take this. Let's divide once. Maybe smooth this out a little bit. Excuse me. Yeah, you can just go to my website, which is, I thought I have it up. I think it's right here. Bengtson Designs. Just go there, and you can find it on my front page. It takes you to my Gumroad, which is where it is. Where it's at. Got 2 turntables and a microphone. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is, yeah, no problem. I think actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the toes first. Now that I'm going to have more topology in here. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, I said we were going to get into skin details. So I think this one's the closest to being able to move forward with actual skin details. So I think we're going to do that. This one is going to be some resculpt. This one's going to be some resculpt for the toes and stuff. And then this will be some resculpt for the hand details. Now that I have them separated. So because we were going to do actual skin details, I think the arm and chest are the closest. So let's do that. So what I'm going to do is to set this guy up, I'm going to dupe him. Before we do that. Alright, so once I start getting into projecting, you're going to have to get to a point where you just have certain things visible. So you start turning subtools kind of on and off. Through my initial block out process, I usually will dupe a bunch of things and like put them down to the bottom, and like so I'll have a bunch of things kind of left over just in the file that I don't necessarily want when I want to start turning everything on and then everything off. So I'm like, oh, was this a duplicate? I don't remember. Okay, we'll turn that off. So if I turn everything on and off, I want it to just be what I'm working on. So this is a good time to kind of version up. So I'm going to version this up real quick. We'll go block out 7. And now what I can do is, right, so in block out 6, the previous version, I can always get back to this guy and then append him in, right? So I don't need him in this anymore. So literally I can just take everything that I don't need So I don't need this guy anymore, and I don't need this guy. So we can turn those off. I don't need that guy anymore. Whatever the heck that is. I don't need that guy anymore. So what I'm going to do is... Whoa, why is that one on? Let's turn this guy off. What I'm going to do is just go into Z plugin, go to Subtool Master, and delete invisible. So that's just going to clean up my file, get rid of all those things that I wasn't using, and then now will just be the things that I had on, right? So now it's easy for me to just turn everything on or off. It makes it so much easier when you're doing reprojecting. So now I can turn everything off. So shift click the eyeball to turn everything off. Now I can duplicate it. I turn both of these on. And now I can reproject real quick. And then I can turn everything back on. And that was everything that I needed in the scene. I don't have to go back and worry about turning things on or off that I wasn't using anymore. Okay. So for this one, let's isolate this. Alright, let's take a look. And then we're going to ZRemesh. We're going to do our 20 by 20, and then we'll do, let's say, half. Let's see what that does. Ooh, it's thinking. Alright, that's actually not that bad. Again, I'm not worried about game res topology. I'm just looking for even topology, which is, dude, that's awesome. I'm just gonna go with that. That's great. All right, so then we've got both now, right? So we've got the retopologized one and the old one. And now I'll just go to project and project some details. Subdivide, project. And we're at about only 120,000. That's enough for now. I don't think we need any more projections from there. So now I can turn everything back on. Right, and now I have my platform for adding all those subdivided details. Right, and a starting point of where my previous version was. What's up, Peter? How are you, sir? Okay. So let's go in and clean all this up a little bit. Usually, after I reproject, I usually just go in and kind of do just a really light smooth, alt smooth. So it's smoothing with shift, and then as I'm smoothing, lift off of shift, and that will kind of give you, I like this smooth a lot better. What it's doing is it's not smoothing down the overall form, it's taking your tangent polys and evening them out based on each other instead of smoothing down the whole form. Hopefully that makes sense. So it's just getting rid of some of these jaggedies now that I have enough polys in here to get some more smoothness. But it's keeping all those nice subtleties in the actual form. Okay. Now I've got a really nice base to start the fine details here. And I've got some subdivisions too, which is awesome because now I can come in and actually work on some of the forms. Like the back of his tricep here needs a little bit more oomph. And then those details usually hold up as you go back up through your subdivisions. Really nice. So I can go down, maybe I'll pull this back in a little bit. Then come back up, and I'll still hold some of those details. Nice. Let's see how everything's looking. All right. I really like clay buildup for these parts. But if you have a low focal shift, you're going to start getting this stuff. And I really don't want that now. I want something more smooth. So I could just throw the focal shift high. And that will kind of give me more betterness. I can start refining some of these forms a little bit. Now, this is actually going to come. Alright, before we start getting into all the noodling, let's get into some of the more characteristic folds. So I think before, I want to start using some layers, but I can't subdivide after I have layers. So I want to make sure that I have enough subdivisions where I'm not going to need to subdivide anymore, because I won't be able to use the layers after that. So let's... Right now we're at 129. Let's definitely add some more. So we're at 2 million. That should be enough. We're not getting into super craziness because it is going to be a print. So I think that's enough for now. What did I say? 2 million? That's plenty. Well, it's not 20 million, right? What do you think? 1, 2. Yeah, it's 2 million. Alright, now we start adding some layers. I'll just do maybe base details. Okay, now I can go back down to sub, and I can start pulling some of these areas. You know, maybe we're gonna have. Of course, you want to save. Maybe we'll have some skin kind of come up through here. Maybe we'll have some kind of come through here. We've got our vein. We've got some coming through there. We've got some. I'm also thinking big to small, so I'm thinking about the bigger shapes first and how that's going to read. Maybe he's gonna have some flaps back here, some skin flaps. Okay, bone comes through here. Just adding a little surface variation. Okay. And the other thing too is I can always go back. Let's turn all of this off, thank you, and we'll store a morph target. You know, if I don't want some of that, maybe I can come back and just pull that back out. Maybe not with that alpha. Let's go back to 0 alpha here. Maybe I can pull some of that back. Oh, the morph targets are your friends. They're amazing. Guys still hanging with me? Everybody's all nice and quiet now. Ooh, skin details, yeah. Gimme, 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 gimme. You start deepening some of these areas as well. Yep, still here. Okay, cool. Yo, Ashley. How you doing? Guys, Ashley is another one of our awesome ZBrush streamers. She does some super dope, awesome creatures. I haven't seen you stream in a while. You still doing the stream thing? Ashley, what's going on? This is your intervention. Lurking. Working lurking. Oh yeah, I know work lurk. Definitely go check out Ashley's site. She does some awesome creature work. It's funny because whenever I see her doing creature work, I'm like, oh, I want to do muscles and creatures and cool stuff. And now I'm actually to that point. The stuff I'm doing now reminds me a lot of the stuff that I wish that I was doing while I was watching Ashley work. Yeah, what's up, Dougie? Yeah, the wife and daughter are out of town, so I've got a little bit more actual daytime to play with. So I figured, you know what? Let's change up the hours a little bit and see if we can see what we can do. Let's do something different. Aw. Hey, he's coming along. Thank you. It means a lot. Just start. Let's play with all this. Let's see if we can get just some really. This is my fun part. Start getting into all these little details. All the details. It's still important to have a plan for all these details. Right now it's more of just kind of selling the fact that skin is over these muscles. Just trying to see if we can sell that a little more. Maybe we'll go down and we'll try to make this division between the pectoral and the deltoid here a little bit more apparent. So I'm just using the inflate brush, but the inflate bus. The inflate bus. And see if we can just deflate that a little bit. And maybe we can just pull this out a little bit more, so we can get a little bit more of this definition in between there. Maybe we'll pull this in a little bit to differentiate between the three deltoid heads as that comes in here, just ever so slightly. Okay, we've got our little dip in there. Sorry, the dip is here. That dip is in between the anterior head of the deltoid and the medial head of the deltoid. Do they? I don't know. I'm in Restream, looking at Restream right now, so I'm not actually in the Twitch chat. What? You're not? Oh my god. Let me just pull this out a little bit. Try to get a little bit more curvature through here. There we go. So now we got some more like actual form separation between the head of the deltoid and the pectoral. Pops up on the broadcast on Twitch. Where does it pop up? In the Twitch chat? Talking about? I'm confused. I don't know. What are you doing? I mean, like this. Needs a little. So the deltoid usually will dive in to the arm from the medial head. Kind of dives in on the anterior side of the brachius. On a screen in the corner. What? I'm so confused. That's okay. It happens. Okay, so this deltoid actually ducks in like this, and the anterior head ducks in underneath like that. So you kind of get this forward motion of the deltoid. So now I can go up in subdivision levels and I know, I was so confused. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I can start doing a little bit of like skin movement through here as we're seeing the transition from taut skin, a little bit of loose, and then back to taut skin. All right, maybe we can actually do a little bit through here as well. So again, just like we were blocking out the details and forms and stuff for the anatomy, I do the same thing when it comes to skin details. I just want to block in just some of the major forms for what the skin is actually doing, and then once you have that, then you continue to refine. Work on the big picture. Once the big picture is awesome, then you refine. You get into smaller details. Once that's good and you can't push that anymore, then you move into smaller details. It's always this like work big, and once you can't fit any more detail into that big space, then start working a little bit smaller. And then once you can't fit any more into that space, then work a little bit smaller. Always working big to small. And always making sure that those reads are working correctly. Maybe this actually comes that way. There we go. Just a little bit. Maybe I'll head back up to 3. No, I don't like that. I don't like it. We can start doing some larger skin surface variations here too. Some parts are Nope, don't like that. What if we do... And again, I'm looking for, you know, happy accidents to start happening. If you guys are watching Brett Briley's first stream, was it yesterday? Alright, Ash, take it easy. Hopefully we're going to see you on here pretty soon. Later. Oh, there you are, Peter. How you doing? How are you, sir? Okay. So this interaction right here, this will be a big selling point right here. Just the visual space. The visual space for this right here is like, that's kind of like you're gonna look here and then you're gonna look here. That's so I really want to make sure that the overall feel of this area is like, that's like your most important area, right? And the same thing with this guy back here. This is probably the area that you're going to look at the most when you're looking back here, right? It has the most the largest visual statement, right? All this in here. That's the majority of where you're going to look, minus the head. But yeah, if you guys were watching Brett yesterday, he does a really awesome job of just letting happy accidents happen. It's really, really important because, you know, as creative as you are, it's really, really tough to come up with all these excellent things that happen in your sculpt on your own, you know? It's really more about being prepared for an opportunity and being able to see that opportunity and expand on it. That's really where the power comes in. I don't like all of that. So being able to set yourself up for that happy accident success is super important. I'm just kind of moving in through these areas. Yeah, Brett's awesome. This is really awesome work. So I'm just kind of laying a little bit of groundwork here because I think what I want to do is come back and use a little bit of this inflate brush. Really like Damn Standard with inflate. So now I can kind of come back in here and just expand on some of these things that are happening. And we've got like this really nice crevice that starts happening. Yeah, I was in that, well, he was in organics, but I was in hard surface that year. Yeah, that was some nerve-wracking. Maybe we can start getting a little bit more of these kind of minor deltoid fibers kind of running through here. Yep, I was there. Okay, we got... That's okay. I really didn't like my submission. It was... Hard surface really tough, man, for 3 hours. Really tough. But it was fun. It was fun. Yeah, I don't really like that very much. So we'll pull that back. Okay. What are some other areas of... Yeah, that's fine. We're going to have some of these guys kind of come in this way. Just thinking of kind of high traffic areas right now. Like this. This may... We'll definitely have a lot more coming in through here. This is one major wrinkle that comes through. Yeah, Joanne, I've been noticing that the Twitch chat, like, it'll just stop suddenly. And then it like won't recognize that you're in the chat. And then it's like, oh, welcome to the chat. You're like, dude, I've been here for like 3 hours, bro. Seriously. What the hell? So this is kind of more the high traffic areas for the bend and contract and stuff. So like adding a little bit more details in there. And again, happy accidents are beautiful. Love me some happy accidents. Let's fan that out a little bit. And then maybe we'll pull some inflate. So we'll just pull these out just a little bit and give that a little bit more life through there. We also need to make sure that we're not pulling into that belt too much. Okay, so now, you know, maybe we've got actually another big one that comes in through here. And then some smaller ones that come through like that. And then we'll hit this with some inflate, pull that out a little bit. Yeah, Brett's got it, man. He's got he's got that that organic it factor, you know. Yeah, but he didn't win. If he won after 20 seconds, he didn't. He actually didn't win. I don't think he did. Not that year. So this is going to be a little bit interesting. I want to sell that he's got some lats, but it's also covered with fat. So how many hours of practice to get to this level? That's a really, really good question. A lot. But it all depends on your own, your own understanding. It's really not about like how many hours you put in. It's how well and how quickly you can understand how to get to what you want. Like how, do you understand how the forms work? Do you know how quickly can you understand the anatomy and reproduce it? Um, like can you regurgitate information well? Do you absorb information well? It's all really really different for different people. Some people already have a good foundation of knowledge of what anatomy is, and then they're like, oh yeah, I know that anatomy, and then they just get up and run. You know, other people know anatomy really well, but maybe they're not good with spatial, 3D spatial awareness, digital spatial awareness. Maybe they're not good with those types of things. It's all different. It's how well you can adapt knowledge, and how well you can absorb it and understand it. That makes sense? But me personally, I've been doing sculpting for... shit, I don't know. I think I started sculpting in 2004, I'd say. 2004. So, what is that, 14 years? Let's get a little bit of separation between the pec and underneath the pec here. Yeah, I think I've been doing about 14 years now. I think that math is correct. I need to bring that pec up a little bit. It feels kind of low. Alright, so now we're starting to get a little bit more information in there. This area feels a little bit too uniform. So I'm just gonna kill that. Already feels better. Infamous asks, what advice would you give someone just starting off? I think the biggest thing, especially for just starting off, is find out what you like. Like, do you like doing anatomy and muscles and stuff, or do you like doing hard surface stuff? Do you like doing realistic? Do you like doing stylized? Like, all those things are really, really going to help you make informed decisions in the limited amount of time that you have. I think it's probably one of the biggest things. And then start focusing on that as early as possible. It's okay if you don't know right away. But try to make that decision as soon as possible. It's because each one of these areas has a ton of stuff to know. Like, ridiculous amounts of stuff to know. If you want to compete with me, if you want to compete with Brett and all of the other professionals that are out there, that's what you got to do. 'Cause that's what we did. So I'd say know and figure out what you love first. Because that will dictate what you need to study, what you need to practice, what groups that you want to be a part of, all kinds of crazy stuff. I would say that's the first thing. Yeah, I've had ZBrush for a long time. Until last year, I discovered all the video tutorials for it. These live streams, could not have figured out how to solve it. You know, that's the awesome thing about knowledge, too. You know, if you have it, share it, man. Share it. God knows we spent enough time digging through manuals and experimenting, failing. My thing is like I don't want all the peoples to have to go through all the crap that I had to go through. So if I have the knowledge, I'm gonna share it, man. Like, hey, dude, here's how to do that thing. Because then you don't have to spend and waste a bunch of time trying to learn it. You can go and make your awesome art, and the world's a better place. Right? So it's another reason why I try to make time to do these streams. I enjoy sharing the knowledge. Share the knowledges. So yeah, find the field, or at least the things that you really love doing. You know, do you love monsters? Do you love, robots? You know, do you love movies, or do you love video games? And then get out there and just do. Don't worry about failing. Failing is the way that you learn. Just do. And don't be afraid to share. Get involved with your communities. Because we're all on this journey together, you know? Sharing is caring, yep. Sharing is definitely caring. I think I missed something back here. Yeah, willing to fail. You know what? And I think willing to fail and the ability to listen and understand when somebody teaches you something, that is like one of those like top 5 for sure. Look, if somebody has knowledge, like, and you ask them for help, listen to them. You know, you don't have to take it all for, this is the Bible. But, if somebody's sharing information with you, listen. You know? There's... Yeah, that's another thing. That's one of those important things. If somebody's sharing something with you, listen. Listen and learn. So I'm still a little bit timid at this point with a lot of this stuff, so sometimes I just kind of come through here and just kind of noodling a little bit, and it's adding some details. It's cool, but it's not really like pushing it, in a crazy direction as fast as I really want it to. So when I realize I'm doing that, I usually will just kind of step back, maybe add another layer, and then just go crazy on that layer. So let's save this guy real quick. Holy cow, when did it become 11:30 already? It's already 2.5 hours. What the? So let's go up and create another layer. And let's say fun. That's what layers are amazing for. Like, let's just go crazy. Let's, maybe he's got like, some weird skin folds that happen. You know, you look at some of the concepts. He's got like kind of these weird skin folds that come through here. Yeah, no problem, Raul. That's gotta give back, you know? Maybe he's got this that kind of comes in like that. Maybe he's got big skin folds through here, you know? Maybe... Yeah, it's 11:30 in the morning here. Maybe he's got bigger folds that come through like this. Yeah, I'm in California, so we're behind everybody else. Maybe he's got even bigger ones that come over like this. Maybe he's got this super saggy skin. You know, maybe his skin actually sags off his forearm down here. That's kind of cool. You know, and then maybe you can see some of that like actually pulling as the skin is starting to sag a little. That's kind of cool. Yeah, so maybe we got a bunch of skin down here that is just kind of hanging off. And maybe we got some maybe that's just really weird. Maybe that's just really weird. Yeah, I like that. But hey, it's a fun layer, right? That's what it's about. Just doing stuff that you don't necessarily want to keep. Yeah, he's got lots of layers. And maybe they're, skin's going in the other direction. It's a tumor. It's not a tumor. Yeah, maybe let's actually pull this up a little bit more. Maybe he's got some elephant skin, and like he's got like these big patches of crisscrossing skin, especially in the fold areas. And then it kind of fans out in the areas where the skin's more taut. And this is a whole lot of places where those happy accidents can start happening. Maybe. Then, if you want to keep a specific part of your fun layer, then you can just morph everything else out, He's got
deeper ones that come through there. You can vary up my size a little bit. You know, start making some more of these smaller. You know, maybe he's got that cool elephant skin going on. If you look at, you know, elephant skin, or if you're looking at some of the larger patched skin animals, rhinos and all of that stuff, a lot of times, like, you know, you have this like crisscrossing action happen, you know, where you have this and then you have this. You know, maybe we got some of that going on. That's actually looking kind of cool. You know, and then maybe what we can do is take this and dupe it. Let's duplicate the layer. Wait for it. And duplicate the layer. But maybe on that one we'll pull it back a bunch. Maybe just dupe it a little bit. Or we invert it. Layers. Layers are fun. I don't like that, so we'll just delete that. So what we can do maybe is we'll throw some pinch in there. So we'll pinch some of this stuff in a little bit. Maybe we'll get some cool stuff happening. We get all these pieces. Coming together a little bit more, some of these areas. Then we'll throw some inflate on some of these pieces. Start pulling some of those up. So that my light is actually giving me shadow on some of these. Excuse me. Bacon, what's up, buddy? Hitting some of these forms up a little bit. You know. Get some of these forms. Maybe we'll break this surface up just a little bit. There we go. Maybe some of these more high traffic areas have bigger pieces. We start getting like this nice, this cool texture happening. Right? Yeah, maybe we'll go in and actually pull some more of these pieces up. Go in and enhance. Enhance! And pull out more. A lot of times the way that you come up with all these really cool details is just layering, you know? Letting happy accidents happen and then just layering and layering details. Do something and then do something over it. Keep adding that level of complexity. and then you never know what you're going to come up with. I had no idea I was going to do this, but I give myself the opportunities to let that happen, you know? But you see that it all comes from having that super solid base. You know, if you have that really good solid foundation, it just makes everything on top of it that much better. Now what I'm doing is I'm looking at, when I get to this point, I'm looking at the values of my shadows versus the value of my lights, right? So in this area, the darkest shadow is like this, right? You're like, it's still kind of just surfacey, you know? It's all kind of one shade of dark, right? But now as I start getting over here, you start getting these really nice darker values. That's kind of what I'm looking at when I'm starting to push more into some of these areas. I want that surface to get a nice range of these dark values as I'm going through here, right? So it just adds more visual stimulation, if I may. Then you vary up those depths, right? Like maybe we've got some these ones coming through here. Maybe we've got, you know, some craziness coming through there like that, and then maybe we've got something like that. You know, in these areas where the skin pulls in between these landmarks, the muscle landmarks, we've got more of these darker values, which helps emphasize your overall shapes as well. Right, so you don't lose the overall form as you're adding all this visual detail. Right, you still are using some of those areas to help inform what the surfaces underneath are doing. And then also making sure that you have large, medium, and small pieces, right? As you focus down on all of these details, all those same core principles still apply, right? We got a large piece here, a medium piece here, another medium piece here, and then a small piece, you know, and then a really large piece. You know, the area from here to here, this, you know, maybe we'll do an extra small one here. So we have large, medium, small, that type of stuff. Really just making sure that you're adhering to all of those good core art lessons. You know what I mean? It's starting to look pretty cool. So it also helps a lot to kind of focus on one area for kind of experimenting on methodology. You know, so maybe this is an experiment on this type of treatment for all over. I don't want to go and do it all over before I decide, man, I don't like it, you know? So focus on one area, see if I can bring that up to a spot where I like what's happening, and then I can go and do that all across. It's just a little too deep in there. Alright, so I'm kind of losing the brachius here. So maybe what I want to do is make sure that these areas are a little bit deeper. So that I'm not losing that nice form detail. See how that this whole is getting kind of just gross, kind of mucky. So maybe what I can do is actually push in some of this. I don't know how big this 3D print would be at this point. I'm kind of thinking around between 12 and 18 inches. That's kind of the general. That will dictate, however, you know, how much detail I put into it and how much I'm expecting the print to hold. There you go. Now we'll go back in with the inflate again. Start pulling up some of these areas to really show how much that skin kind of buckles out. It just breathes this a really awesome life into the surface of that skin. Look at that. Oh, it's so good. This actually works really well on leather as well. I use this method on the Oseram Horizon Zero Dawn character that I'm working on. Because basically it's the same thing, right? It's old wrinkly skin. I don't know. That's looking cool. And it's different, you know? It's something that is kind of on top of whatever else is going on, right? You got a solid foundation, and then you start getting the characteristics of what makes that different. I actually kind of like that. Maybe we could start doing some of that through here. So that this skin really pulls off through here. You also want to make sure that you're not doing this all over the place, right? You want to be able to make sure that you're giving areas of rest for the eye. You know, maybe it's a little bit more in here, and then more over here. And you got to think about the way that it moves too, right? Because it has to look realistic for the way that the skin folds and moves. We'll have some of the larger ones come in through here. Like that. That's cool. Again, I'm looking at my shapes, right? Large, medium, and small. So here's a small. These are mediums. Maybe this one would be large up back here. So it'd be better if this actually came up more. Right? Large, medium, small. I always think large, medium, small. pull this back in here. Start adding a little bit more surface variation as it comes through this area. It's kind of a high traffic area, right? And we're going to pull this back down to like 3. So we're going to focus on not quite the exact surface, but some of the secondary forms coming through here. You know, so as he like crunches over and stuff, like kind of moves like this, we'll get a lot of skin variation happening through here, right? A lot of this folds kind of back and forth. I also want to make sure that I continue to I like still going in the direction of the muscle fibers, just to help enhance. You know, is it? Yeah. See, this is all kind of looking a little too uniform now. So what I may want to do is actually come in here. I still have my morph target, actually. So what I can do is, let's save first. Great. What I can do is grab my morph brush and maybe pull some of this back out. Hey yo! We reached we reached the 3-hour mark. Yay, 3 hours. We did it. Pull this back. Let's do this real quick. Let's store this as the morph target. Come back. BMO. And then we'll pull this. Maybe we'll just pull some of that back. So that's a cool thing, right? Is like you can go in and you can just go super heavy handed, and then with a morph brush you can just pull some of it back. You know? Let's pull some of this back. Maybe we'll pull some of this back in here. Yeah? This method, I use this method all the time. You know, maybe we don't want to see it on the part that's getting stretched the most over that skin, you know? Maybe we don't want to see it too much in here. The part that's getting stretched more. It's a really cool opportunity to be able to pull back on a lot of those areas. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and gerbils, we have reached the end of the stream. We got some fun stuff done today. Yeah. So I think we're going to call it. I gotta go have some food. I haven't eaten yet today. So, yeah, it's been fun. I think we got a good direction going. We piecemealed him out so that we can focus on adding more details in the parts that we want to add details in. Let's maybe throw a render real quick. Let's see. You got his weapon looking a little bit better. And we got a plan. We got a plan. Maybe we'll throw the angle like raw. See what that looks like. Yeah, so we're starting to get a little bit of character come through there. All right. Cool. Well, I hope you guys had some fun. I hope you guys learned some things. But most of all, I hope you're inspired to go make your own cool things. So do it. Go make some cool stuff. And have fun while you're doing it. All right. I will be back. I have 2 more sessions this month. So, I mean, I don't know what's left. You can look at the schedule. It'll be back on. We have more awesome streamers on the Pixelogic channel, so be sure to follow the Pixelogic channel. If you'd like to follow me on my personal channel, I am also doing work over there on the Horizon Zero Dawn character. We're doing some bakes right now. So follow me, follow Pixo, and keep an eye out for other awesome streamers up on the Pixelogic channel. And don't forget, ZBrush Summit is coming up. Plan accordingly. Be there, or be square. Alright guys, have a great weekend, and go art. Alright guys, later.